Hello and welcome to Coffee Lovers Radio. Joseph here with Jesse Nelson, and Jesse's water is getting cold, so we have to move it. How you doing?
Hot action here. Got
Hot action.
hot action. Joseph, how the heck have you been? Speaking of hot action,
Well, I kind of was a little busy there this summer. Got married a little bit. Did some
just a little
honeymooning.
bit,
just a little bit,
just a little bit married now.
just a little bit.
Yeah, that was the big delay. We kind of sort of didn't really allude to it, but we said things were happening in the last.
Well, I think we actually did talk about it in an episode, although one of those episodes where we talked about it might not have been published yet.
I know we're realizing that we may have dropped the cup on some of this.
Yeah, well, as we said before, life happens, and we're living life, and then also kind of doing this, and
Yep.
we'll get episodes up when we get them up. But
Yep.
so yeah, it's been a summer of doing a lot of stuff and traveling around a whole lot.
There's a lot happening. There's a lot of FOMO out there too, just coming after the pandemic summer last year.
Oh my gosh, I think FOMO is at the highest it's ever been in the existence.
But people are freaking out. Like, they're just so anxious about making sure they get the most out of their days. I find that I'm just working more and not doing enough. So,
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't have FOMO. I just have fatigue. I don't know.
That's fair.
What's the opposite of FOMO? Fear of not missing out?
Fear of getting too much. Fear of missing out is, I wouldn't think the opposite would be not fear. I think the opposite would be whatever happens when you do too many things because of FOMO. Fear of never missing out. Yeah, maybe that's what you said. I guess. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not afraid of missing out, I guess.
No.
Now the water's even colder.
Yeah.
We never really been set up for brewing coffee on the air here at my home studio.
No. Oh, I see. Are you wearing the Chemex shirt?
I am. Yeah, I'm wearing your Chemex shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't
Thanks
even
for noticing.
notice. I saw the clouds peeking up into the camera.
Yep. We really need some more shirts for Coffee Lovers Radio.
Yeah,
I think we
need
should
more
get
shirts
on that.
for a lot of things.
We just need to design a shirt and then not advertising it and just have one made.
Oh yeah, you mean kind of like the one that we did that was on the Patreon for a long time?
Yep.
That no one got,
Including us.
including us. I don't even remember what the design was.
Don't either. We had a shirt. What's Patreon?
I don't know. We're not in this for the money. We're in this for the joy of it, which is why we keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So joyful on these days. It's very good to talk to you, Joseph. I'm glad we're here today. We have some exciting stuff because we've been so busy that it's a perfect time to bring up our busy coffee episode again.
Right. Well, and traveling as well, because I've been doing a bunch of that.
Traveling, busy, whatever.
A lot of like road tripping. And we've talked about this in a number of previous episodes, but recently, I think maybe one of the episodes that, as we're recording this, has not yet been published. So, I mean, presumably people will have listened to it by the time we're talking about it right now. But I'm in
That's
this weird,
assuming a lot about
I'm
our
in this
listeners.
weird inception space about what we've said and what's been heard.
It's fine. Nobody notices.
Yeah. So, because we definitely recorded an episode about the summer and coffee and like potential for traveling, backpacking, camping, whatever, all these things. So one of the things that I did in the past month was a bit of a road trip down through Oregon, down and around Oregon, and we camped a little bit, stayed at a house for a while, went down and checked out the redwoods. We were gonna do the Oregon Caves National Monument.
Yeah, that's right. You're telling me about this.
This is where the everyone going crazy and FOMOing into everything comes into play. So normally, Oregon Caves National Monument, they normally have several tours, and you can buy tickets to your tours in advance, and it's all very scheduled and organized. Because of COVID, they only have one tour available. You can't buy your ticket in advance. You have to go the day of and get your tickets. What we discovered is that the only way to get a ticket on a tour, like you can't go and buy tickets for another day. It has to be on the day. The only way to do it is the ticket office opens at 8:30 in the morning. You got to get in line between like 6 and 6:30, or you're not going to get a ticket for the day.
That's early.
And then
especially if you're not planning on it.
Well, I mean, even if you're planning on all that, you go at get in line at 6:30, wait 2.5 hours, 3 hours, whatever, by the time you're able to maybe buy your ticket. Who knows what schedule you get? Like, how do you plan a trip around that? I don't know. So we decided that sitting in hammocks by the river sounded better.
Yeah, that sounds much better than, yeah. Yeah, that stuff's weird. I mean, it's just this demand for these national parks. That's kind of what they have to do. Yeah, you hear about that a lot with places like Yellowstone that are seeing an incredible surge of people.
Well, Tom was doing a little road trip down the Oregon coast last week before, something like that.
Who's Tom for all of our listeners?
He was my best man. I was just going to keep it a mystery.
Just, Tom. Yeah, Tom was on the coast.
You know who Tom is.
Oh, John was there also.
Tom, John.
Yeah. Long John Silver.
Yeah.
Joseph, I've started brewing so my water doesn't get cold.
You start brewing. I'm going to keep talking, and then I'm going to talk about what we're brewing, and then I'll brew. Anyway, so he was, they were trying to stop at a lighthouse. I guess some well-known.
One of the famous Oregon lighthouses.
Yeah, one of the famous Oregon lighthouses. He said there was something like 40 cars in line for the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, for a lighthouse.
And they were just like, nope.
Oh, the RVing and all that stuff's incredible out here. I mean, out here in Port Townsend, we have the campgrounds in town. It's kind of a destination. There's just giant RVs rolling through town all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so many RVs out on the roads. And maybe that's... I guess I haven't done a lot of road tripping or whatever during the summer. But it's definitely more RVs that I've seen on the roads than I've ever seen before.
Yeah. Well, it shows a lot of, I don't know. I don't need to get political with it. There's a lot of RVs on the road.
So traveling and coffee.
Including my dad has taken his new camper trailer out here a couple times this last year.
Cool.
I have some immediate observations about some of these things.
Okay. Well, let's get into those really quick. So we're talking traveling and coffee, and we talked in previous episodes, like if you're camping or driving, or even traveling by air, whatever, there are all sorts of different things you can do. Instant coffees, prepackaged coffees. I talk about French press. I took the Nomad on one of my trips and did some espresso on the go, which is not terribly convenient, but is possible and amusing.
There's not a lot about espresso that's convenient.
No. But what we decided to do on the show today was brew up a selection of, we have an instant coffee, Ozo Coffee's instant coffee.
Yep.
We've got a Victrola. I picked up some like coffee steep bags. So it's kind of like a tea bag of coffee.
Yeah.
And then we have Overland coffee pour over in a bag. So it's a single serve pour over thing. You take it out of the bag, open it up, and it kind of sits on top of your mug, and you pour through it. I'll tell you, the first time I did that one, I didn't notice that I was supposed to tear open the little satchel. I just sat it on my mug and started pouring onto it.
Yeah. It's not quite the same.
No. And honestly, it's not, I don't know. It's not all that clear that that's what you're supposed to do. In retrospect, it's obvious, but
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go grab my kettle really quick and then start brewing these. So I'm going to start with the Victrola thing, since that's just put the steep bag in the cup.
Yep.
And then pour into it. Ran into this in a little hotel that we were staying at, in for about a week. This is just how they did their coffee. And I found it to be surprisingly pleasant. I had brought, this is the trip where I brought the Nomad, and I brought like all the coffee in a grinder and the AeroPress Go. I used the Nomad one day just for the amusement of it because I brought it, but otherwise the only way I did my coffee was with these satchels.
Yeah,
because it was decent enough for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Victrola is a good roaster.
Yeah,
they've gotten a lot bigger in the last few years, but they're a good roaster. They have some couple really perfect cafes in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's dunk the bag for 15 to 30 seconds or longer. I don't know.
Well,
I just left mine in there.
That's where they're like dunking in and out.
Right.
So like, I think that the point of that is like to saturate all the grounds and make sure it can like off gas cleanly. I guess that's my assumption about it. And then you let it sit for, they say 5+ minutes.
Yep.
Like, I think the longer you let it sit, the more it brews. I don't know. I don't think with this kind of thing, there's really any way of being optimal about it.
No. Well, cheers.
Yeah. So I got my bag steeping. Is that what you're drinking right now?
Yeah, I did all three of mine.
You did yours ahead of time. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have a whole Oregon Beach story to get through. It's kind of a sad sack when you pull it out of the cup.
That's true. And it's kind of
kind of like a giant unwieldy tea bag.
It's unwieldy. If you don't let it, like, you got to put it in something, or it's going to continue to drain and make a huge mess.
Yeah, I put it in my dumb Chemex cup that I had earlier today.
Yeah,
this is going to be an over-caffeinated morning suddenly.
So it's their Empire blend, which I think is just their kind of like standard blend.
Mm-hmm.
I recall it being pleasant, enjoyable.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't really have
it's not astounding mild or anything.
No, it's mild. I mean, it's nice and sweet. There's some good kind of white sugar, cane sugar on there.
Oh man, I have to stir the instant thoroughly. What? Hold on, I got to get a stirrer.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, so the Victrola, it's nice and sweet. I don't know. It's a fine cup of coffee. It's clean. It's not rancid. Doesn't hit any weird.
Yeah, I think the thing that I noticed
notes
about
that you often get out of like some of those, like, this reminds me of when you're at motels and they have those little coffee discs that you put in the Mr. Coffee machines in the rooms. Mm-hmm. Those can be terrible.
Mm-hmm. Well, several of the other places we stayed, had really terrible looking quick or instant forms of coffee or other stuff like that put in a Mr. Coffee. The single serve like small pod style machines are really popular.
Yeah.
Like stick a mug under it, throw the disc of coffee or whatever in there.
Because they're foolproof. I mean, it makes sense why you'd want that. I mean, this is just one of those things about coffee that we've talked about so many times in the past, is that like really good coffee takes a lot of care and skills to make a good cup and fulfill it like a food, just like a good pasta sauce or something made from scratch.
Yeah, it's true.
But there's other ways to do it faster and cheaper.
Well,
maybe
I think
not cheaper, but
that's one of the things that strikes me about like I have a lot of problems with these like instant and single serve coffee things because there's so much extra packaging that goes with it, and to a degree it takes you further away from the coffee and the people itself, which matter to me. But it was really nice not like being able to have, like, as far as the Victrola goes, thing that struck me was this is good quality coffee. Like, I'm not blowing my mind here with it, but I'm having a good tasting coffee. I can tell that the quality is good, and it was so easy to make. And to their like credit, the packaging and everything is apparently compostable, although I don't know about
all three of these coffees that we're having today are all compostable or recyclable. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, their packaging says 100%, except for the is the bag itself. Like definitely the coffee tea bag thing is.
Yeah, I think the bag itself is compostable that Victrola came in. I'm assuming
it says fully compostable on it. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the whole nitrogen sealed bag and everything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's nice. This would be totally fine coffee in a hotel. Assuming you have a nice hot water heater to brew
I guess that is the trick. You need to be able to heat water and pour it in a mug.
How'd they do that at the motel?
They had just an electric water kettle.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was quite nice.
So that's nice. Have you done the other ones yet, Joseph?
About to do the Ozo Instant. I still haven't. I mean, I had the Victrola before, so I know what it tastes like, but it's brewing right now. I'll do the Instant here, and I'm going to do the Overland last since it's a pour over.
See, I did the Overland first because I wanted my water hotter.
Oh.
And I did the Instant last because it will dissolve in anything. You can put it into milk.
Well,
I'm going to make coffee ice cream today.
I'm going to do it anyway. So here we go. Instant. How are you going to make your coffee ice cream?
I'm going to put instant coffee in with heavy cream. I found a ice cream in a jar recipe online, and I don't really believe it, but we'll see.
All right.
He's concentrating, pouring in. I can see on the little Skype video. I had a conversation with somebody that's doing podcasts, and they used to use Skype for everything, and now they just do Zoom for everything. And I just want to remind them that we still use Skype for everything. All right, so Victrola coffee, right. That's a win. These are all going to be winners because they're the kind of the best on the market, I think, for these types of coffees.
I'm excited to try the Ozo. The other instant coffee that I've had, well, and we did a show on it a long time ago. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it now. That's funny.
I think that I was just going to say, I haven't ever had coffee brewed out of a tea bag before, and I've kind of been curious, and it does work. It does work.
Same for me. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know about this.
I called it a big sad sack because it looks like a giant wet blanket coming up. Because you have to have a bigger tea bag just because of the nature of the mass of coffee and how much it needs to move around inside the cup. But it's yeah.
Okay. Well, I did the instant coffee, and now I'm setting up to do the Overland. Remembering to tear the top of my bag before I.
So the instant coffee is from Ozo Coffee in Boulder, Colorado. Some good friends of mine. It's kind of pricey. It's about $14 for a box of 6. So it's, a couple dollars per cup of coffee, which isn't unreasonable for that kind of stuff. It's processed with Swift Cup Coffee, and that's a pretty cool company that's helping smaller roasters turn their quality coffees into instant coffee. I haven't had instant coffee in a long time, and it's never been a great thing for me. So I was kind of excited to pick this up. And
smells good.
Yeah. I've had this several times, so I'm going to let you do the reveal on it.
All right. I'm waiting for it to cool. That was kind of my thought on doing it sooner. Anyway. Caramelly. It's caramel. Smooth.
It's pretty bold. Like I get a lot of flavor out of it.
Like it's still a little bit hot for me.
Maybe use a little bit more water.
Oh, there's the other thing about the Victrola, which I noticed. I mean, the bag is so large, it takes up a rather sizable volume of a coffee mug.
Yeah.
So I would typically pour more in after removing the bag. When you do the Overland, do you just pour until your mug is full?
Yeah. Yeah, I propped it open and then poured over the little, you have that little opening for the coffee and just kind of poured that in until it filled up and kept that going until it kind of equaled out.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right. I need to do something about my sad sack here.
Sad sacks always take up the most energy.
I do have a cup here I can put it in. All right, there we go. Got 3 cups of coffee going here. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Actually, I have 4. I made an extra large Chemex this morning because I thought I needed the caffeine, and then I drank most of it. And then now I have 3 more cups of coffee.
Yeah, I guess the... Oh, yeah. That is nice. Chocolate. Vanilla.
On the Ozo?
Caramel, yeah. Starting to get more out of it. It's cooling.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's a little tinge of some kind of instant kind of dryness in there, but it's I get some lovely caramel notes and some really good kind of, I don't know, like almost a juniper.
Yeah, the Victrola.
Well, the tasting notes are milk chocolate, pecan, and black cherry. So I think that I'm actually getting all of those.
Yeah. I haven't gotten the black
cherry nuttiness. Yet. Black cherry is kind of that juniper note, I think.
But I think, pecan makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Man, it's very strongly of caramel to me.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, this is, like I said, this is the 3rd cup of this instant coffee I've had. And I feel like I would absolutely take this on the road backpacking for the ease of it. And, there's no waste at all. And there's a little bag that it comes in, which is compostable.
That's true. That's certainly easier than the tea bag version, for example, or this pour over, which...
Right. I mean, the tea bag, you're going to end up with the big wet bag that you have to put in your trash someplace if you're backpacking. And, unless you dry it out or something like that. But like the instant coffee, at least... yeah. The instant coffee, at least, it's all dry waste that you get out of it, and it's pretty good. I mean, if you're going and you only need like 3 cups of coffee and you're only going for a couple days, AeroPress, those kind of ways are kind of a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, even the even the sort of lightweight French press that I use, you gotta clean out the filter and the press all the time,
right? And which uses a lot of water.
Yeah, and that's an object you got to carry. So, yeah, I mean, this way, all you have is this one slim piece of packaging, which you could pack out or you could throw in a fire.
And kind of one thing I like about this on packaging wise versus the Overland is that it has the brewing instructions on the small package, so you don't have to take the box with you.
Yeah,
not that you need the instructions, but once you do it one time, it's just pour in and pour water on it. Yeah. I mean, when I go, I usually take one of those little MSR pour over coffee / tea things from REI.
Oh yeah,
that slide in the cup and you just pour grounds into it, and then you pour it over just like the Overland. It's like a brass filter version of the Overland coffee.
Oh, that's interesting. I might have to check out
that works pretty well. It makes 1 cup though, so it's fine for solo stuff, but it's sort of a pain for 2 people.
Right. There's definitely an appeal to the ease of this instant coffee.
Yeah.
So you're saying that this company, this is it Ozo that makes the instant for various
No, it's called the Swift Cup Coffee. I don't know if you can see that on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Joseph. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so Ozo is one of the companies that uses them. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. So swiftcupcoffee.com, doing our research live on the air, of course. Wow. So they work with a bunch of different little roasters for these types of instant coffees. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
They got a lot of fancy hipsters with boots pouring instant coffee into their travel mugs over a beach, fancy ceramic.
Of course.
But, yeah, so they work with they work with 4-letter Word, Middle State Coffee, Intelligentsia, Pine Coffee Supplies, Quills, Dogwood, Ozo, Mission. I mean, they have dozens of different roasters that they work with to make instant coffee. So it's pretty cool. And then their website pairs a lot of that together. SwiftCupCoffee.com.
I've got the Overland brewed now. The smell at the moment is not terribly pleasant. I don't know if maybe I had an issue cleaning this bug. I don't know. My first smell. I'm always going to think of pool water now whenever I have like a negative taste or smell.
Pool water.
Paint. Like the acrid kind of acrylic nature of paint aroma is what hit my nose.
I'm not getting that one bit.
It's subsiding, but it's still there a little bit. It's very odd. Like,
huh.
And the taste is really mild. I'm not tasting much.
The body feels similar to the Victrola. I don't know. That Ozo, the body on that instant coffee is a lot richer of a body than either one of these pour overs. But
yeah, this Ozo, it's fascinating. It is really rich and sweet. It does have that edge of this is an instant coffee to it, which I don't even know how to describe that, but by comparison, the Victrola to me has more of this is a freshly brewed cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And the Victrola, I think, is a darker roast. I can taste roastiness on it. I don't know how the roasts actually compare.
Yeah, the Overland is it's mild. I really like it. It's sweet. It's a nice cup.
I had the Overland on one of our days that we were camping. Just fired up the gas stove, pot of coffee, poured it over, worked out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so weird. There must be something in my cup that's interfering because I still...
Another quality taste test on Yo Old Coffee Lovers Radio.
Seriously. I don't know what the heck that is. It's just...
Were you using it for paint?
No. I can't
Did
imagine
an artist get a hold of your cup and use their paintbrushes in it?
I can't imagine what it would have been.
I don't want to imagine where your cup has been.
That's strange. It's been on the coffee brewing shelf with the other two mugs that I am also drinking out of and not having problems. Yeah, this Ozo is really impressive. I like it. I wonder... Yeah, I wonder in terms of production how they compare. This is like a question that I always wonder about everything, because it's easy, I think, on a consumer level to get into this from an environmental perspective. What uses the least amount of waste, and go with that. But if you're actually concerned, like if you're actually trying on a deep level to have the least amount of impact, or use the least amount of resources or whatever, obviously you have to consider the production.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm curious about the production of all of these. I think the Victrola and the Overland are similar, just in that they're pre-ground coffee in a bag in which you're going to brew, like in different ways. Victrola steeps, the Overland is a pour over.
It kind of steeps, but you pour it over. I don't know. There's not a lot of difference in that. I mean, I think that you could just not open the Overland and get a lot of the same tea bag effect. I mean, it's a smaller bag, so it just doesn't have the space to move. But
Yeah, I tried that. It doesn't work. maybe I need to let it sit a lot longer, but I think the bag that the Victrola is in permeates a lot more.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean, the Overland has a little bit more paper waste, for each cup. It's kind of designed for those people that want to, I don't know, it's a little gimmicky for their fancy expeditions, and their fancy camper vans.
Yeah.
It's tasty. It's roasted by a small little roaster. I forget the name of it. They don't say on the box. Out of LA, I believe, LA area.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you get to have the experience of doing the brewing, which is one of the enjoyable things that certainly I like about making a cup of coffee in the morning is the process. And when you're doing an instant coffee, you don't really have a process.
Right. That's true. But
maybe that's fine.
In all fairness, we love the process, and both of us made the Overland with gooseneck kettles.
That's
true. They even show a gooseneck kettle on their box.
Yeah. Like, are you going to take a gooseneck? It would be very
difficult to have like camping and just have a saucepan of hot water.
That's how I did it, honestly. I used what are they made out of? Titanium? They're really nice, like lightweight backpacking pots. And it had a little bit of a pour lip. So it wasn't a gooseneck, but I was able to pour into the little thing,
right,
and it worked out pretty fine. So but also the whole time I was doing it, I was like, I kind of just want to pour this into the cup and then not have to babysit this.
Right. Yeah, I'm like a pour over. There's a lot of babysitting that goes with that whole process.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's good coffee. Both that and the Victrola are good coffee. I don't know, is the Victrola packets, are they even available to the public?
I don't know. That's a good question. That we've done this whole thing. If
not
they
just
are
stolen from hotel rooms.
If they are, we'll link to them.
Where do we link to them?
In
they totally sell it.
coffeeloversradio.com. coffeeloversradio.com. Find the show notes for this show.
Yep.
I'll just link to them there. If you'd like to support the show, you can click on the Patreon link. We'd love your support.
Keeps us going more often, for sure.
Pays for
knowing that people are listening and giving us feedback.
Pays for the hosting of the show. That's about where we're at with it at the moment. In the future, we might add more tiers if we're looking to. Like in the past, we did a bunch of extra tiers and people helped us upgrade our equipment that way, and that was really fun.
Yep. I think that, it's hard. The more support we get, the more worthwhile it becomes for us to just kind of keep doing this on a regular basis and get some new swag and some cool stuff. I know that we're working on some new stickers and things like that at Conduit because it's fun, and I would love to carry that over to the podcast. Maybe both.
All
right.
You can get the instant coffee. You can. The Victrola.
I know. I'm looking it up.
$16 for 10 counts.
Yeah, exactly. So the Victrola is the cheapest per cup of all three of these. Mm-hmm. And the Ozo Instant more expensive per cup. Instant coffee is about $2.20 versus $1.60.
I do like the idea of that one best now that we've gone through this for backpacking. Just because the less you have to manage and do while backpacking, I feel like the better if you're moving around a lot. If you're just going in and camping for a while, different story, I think. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time just saying I like the instant coffee more for those things. I think just for doing some lightweight backpacking by yourself, kind of single cup, it's a really easy way to make the coffee. If I was going to go out for a longer time and had more space, I would still use kind of my pour over method. Gotcha. I think with a bag of coffee because it ends up being less waste, a lot cheaper.
Well, I guess the other thing as well about that, and like what I do with the lightweight French press and then a bag of ground coffee is I can take your Congo Mungano natural process into the woods with me.
Yes. Congo.
For example, or one of the, I have so much coffee right now. Our good friend, Michael, Michael.
Yeah, the OG.
The OG, Fake John Michael.
OM.
OM. He sent me as a gift 3 coffees from JBC. They're over here. I can't even see them. They're like all in the mid 90s rated. A Kenya, and Ethiopia, and a Colombia. They've been absolutely wonderful to explore and taste through.
Nice.
Maybe we'll do an episode talking about really highly rated coffees.
I
our
think
opinions
that'd
about
be
those.
fun. Yeah, because we've never talked about those before.
Ever.
On that note, a customer out here, she subscribes to Olympia Coffee subscription program, and she gave me like 10 little 50-gram samples.
Wow.
Of her favorite coffees that she's had the last few months from Olympia Coffee. And it's darling because she packaged them all in little cellophane things, and they're incredible.
Yeah.
Olympia Coffee is really knocking it out of the park. I think they're quickly becoming one of my favorite roasters ever. As much as I am jealous of their fame and stardom in the local coffee scene.
Yeah.
They're pretty darn good people. And the group that started Olympia Coffee is also behind the Overland Coffee as well. Cool. Mr. Zenowitz.
Very nice.
Everything he touches is a pot of gold. Very well, good. Joseph, I don't know if you can see it. I feel like I'm getting wavy vision because I've had so much coffee.
I'm starting to get jittery.
And how much longer can we let this episode go?
I don't know. I think we're probably done. Ready for one of our patented awkward endings. Do all although three it's less awkward when I point it out. Oh, we're gonna cheers all 3. Okay. Oh, that's bold.
Can you see me? Yeah, I got cabocalypse. Ooh, I even have a trash mug.
I'm gonna do it on the desk. Hang on.
I want a picture of this screenshot.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait. Wait there. I don't know.
More awkward.
I can't screenshot with. You know what I can do? Oh, I can't take a screenshot. Smile.
We can.
1, 2, 3. Cheers.
It's a party. Wow. That deteriorated quickly.
That did. All right. CoffeeLoversRadio.com. Subscribe. Check us out. Share it with your friends. And we'll see you all in the next one.
Chowda.
This has been Joseph
and Jesse
with Coffee Lovers Radio.
Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our show and sign up for the email newsletter.
Visit CoffeeLoversRadio.com.
There you can listen to our shows and click through to our Patreon page to get expanded show notes and other fun stuff.
Coffee Lovers Radio is a partnership between Extracted Magazine and Conduit Coffee.
Just visit CoffeeLoversRadio.com and we'll see you on the show.